And in my opinion, it is a whole lot better than searching through and sifting through all that big old long list. It's a lot more simpler. So if you have questions about any sort of beginner things, you can send them in the chat box. But know that we do have an upcoming Zoom on Memorial Day, I believe. Either it's the Sunday before Memorial Day or on Memorial Day, that we're going to be doing our monthly beginner session. I'm super excited about that one. Okay, so Zoom meeting controls, if you need them, here they are. I'll send some links in the chat box that will be helpful to have afterwards. So this is, you'll want to have the chat box open. I'm going to show you on the next screen though. This is how you save our chat if you're on your computer. So you would just click that little more button and then click save chat, okay? All right, so let's get started. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you, I will do the planner steps, okay? And then we will do them together, and you can create a copy of this practice planner that we have available for you guys to use. And it doesn't have any resources necessarily attached to it, but it will definitely help you get a feel for how the document works, because it is a lot different than the Finder, really, than anything you've probably ever seen before. It's very beautiful, but also just not super user-friendly. So it is your own document, so you can, mess it up. So what is the Google Slides Planner? It is a Google Sheet, so it is a spreadsheet. And so if you're familiar with Excel and any sort of spreadsheet type of platform, like maybe Numbers on a Mac, it is like that. And it can allow you to access all of our props and rewards. And we have, and you may not know this, but we have a very rather large feedback bank that is connected to the planner. And it's not connected currently to the Finder, but all of those things you can access with the planner, and it's all based on your schedule. So it's only going to show you our resources available for your schedule, instead of you having to search and then like save the link and star the files and yada yada, all that stuff. It's literally just you paste your schedule in and you hit the start button, and then it's going to show you all your resources available. I explain it like it's super easy, but it is, as long as you practice and you kind of get used to it. And that's why you're here today. So it can also do some other more advanced things, like save nicknames for all your bows, and save notes maybe that you jotted down during class or right after class about a specific student. It can show you your student's photo, and also save all of your favorite rewards and your favorite props that you like to use for certain lessons. So if you're, a big Dinah Phil fan or you're a big Beth Pinder fan, then you can save those, and they will always show as your first, option, your favorite choice. It keeps record of all your classes. So everything that you used with Bob on, May 10th, whatever, then it's going to show you that in your one of your tabs as well. And like I said, it can also save your favorite props and stuff down here, all that stuff. Another cool thing that the planner does, that's probably one of my favorite features of the planner, is, and this was, I don't remember who came up with the idea first. I think it was Nicole Cloutier. She's a member in our group. She was on our editing team for a while, but she found herself kind of like just typing those same sentences over again to the beginning and end of our templates, because it's just like one, currently the planner shows one template that you modify to your liking, and then it'll populate every time that you have that lesson. Well, we like to add our own little things, to the templates, and so it was annoying having to retype things, and so we have a favorites tab, and you can actually save all your edited feedback to show up next time that you have that lesson. So you're not going to sit there finding yourself typing your intro and your sign off every single time, or copying and pasting it. And the feedback templates do generate the student's name into the template as well. So it's really, really almost like once you get all your favorite feedback saved, I just literally copy and paste my feedback into the portal. And I have a couple of methods I'll show you on how you can personalize it, because I like to always start off my feedback by telling the parent like what they did well on and what they might need to practice at home. And there's a way you can actually save that as well. So how do I get a planner? Mega's wondering. All right, so you can learn about the planner, and that's why you're here today. But you can also learn about the planner in our slide guide, okay? And if this document does not look familiar to you, it is on our Facebook page, our Facebook group, and it is the Google Slides Bible, I like to think of it as. It is like just this huge document that has literally everything you could ever need in it. It's got a table of contents. It's got, some prompting things at the beginning. And then here's the big table of contents, and you can click to learn exactly what you need to learn about. So if you are missing a couple of key things here today when we're talking and you're needing to go back to refer, you can always click on the slide guide. It's in the links in the announcement. And it's right here under experience, the Google Slides, Google Slides Planner, personalized resource bank. All right, so that is where you would go to learn all about the planner in written form and in video directions. So in case you need that. Also, after you learn about the planner and you feel comfortable with your knowledge of the planner and what you should do and what you shouldn't do, you would complete the request form. So this request form, it is also linked in the slide guide, and it is 10 questions. Well, really, I think it's only 9, but it asks very specific questions. And some people do have to take it a couple of times to get that link sent to them. But once you pass it, and I'm going to send the link to the request form right at the end of the session. But once you pass it, you'll get an automatic email, and you will get that link to your planner. And when I say pass it, you do have to get all of the questions right. But don't worry, we're gonna get to all of the questions today, so you will make 100%. And then obviously you'll get this exact email right here, and you would click this link, and it will prompt you to make a copy of the master planner, which is where we're going to start today. I'm going to skip down to this tab right here. I'm actually going to pull this tab out of view so that I can follow these steps, but I will be showing them every now and then. I'm going to stop my share for a second and share my whole screen, because there are some things that pop up that you will need to be able to see. And for some reason, when I don't share my whole desktop, it won't show. Okay, there we go. All right, so I got a couple of weird things going on here. Hang on, sorry. It keeps prompting me to, here we go. All right, so I'm gonna make this window bigger and zoom in a little bit. Okay, so when you get the link that is sent to you upon the 100% of your form that you're supposed to submit, you will get in that email, and when you click the link, it will take you to a screen that looks like this, and it'll prompt you to make a copy of it, of the master planner. So you would click make a copy, and when you do that, it's going to think for a little bit. It's a big document, so it's going to need some thinking time, so just give it time. I mean, maybe your connection's super fast and your computer is stellar and it won't take that long, but just be patient. And when you click make a copy and it loads and everything, you'll get a new window open up, and it'll look like this. This is the first tab of the planner. It is called Input Schedule right here. And as you can see, what it's right here, I'm just going to kind of highlight it to point it out here. But this is essentially your schedule from your portal pasted onto your Input tab. And so that's what it looks like when you highlight and copy and paste your schedule. So let me show you what that looks like. I'll step you through all of those steps, but hang on just a second. I've got a tickle in my throat, sorry. Okay, so Kathy, sure, hang on just a second. I'm trying to zoom in on Chrome, but it's, hold on. There we go. Okay. Okay, so all right. Before I do anything though, before I paste anything onto this tab, your first step when you get your planner is to clear out this little sample schedule that's in here. Because whatever is on your input tab is connected to all of the other tabs currently. So we got to clear that out and get it ready for your schedule. So you can do that a couple of ways. You can click this little menu up here and click authorize buttons. But what I like to just tell everybody is you can just click this reset planner button and you'll see, oh, that is too funny. Look, I have a 1, 2, 2 here. I never noticed that. Whoopsie, Jackie. Whoa. Yeah, it's supposed to say 1, 2, 3. I mean, you could probably figure that, but you're going to follow the order of these buttons every time you use your planner. So they're in the order that you should be using them. So your first step will be to reset the planner. A quick note about that. When you click reset planner button, don't be afraid of this button because it's not going to clear out any of your saved favorites or your saved classes or anything like that. It is just going to clear out your current schedule right here. So it's not a scary button. So I'm going to go ahead and click it. And when I click this, it's going to give me this little prompt. And this is the only time that you'll ever have to go through these steps is when you're first getting your planner. So there are scripts attached to your planner. Okay. When I say scripts, I mean like JavaScript coding, essentially. They're like macros, and it's a series of steps or a series of things that the planner does without you having to do them yourself. So instead of you having to click through and backspace all of those, all of that schedule, you can just click a button and it'll all do it for you. So I'm going to click continue. And here's a really important part. So before I just go on ahead and show you, do you see how this account right here, it should match your account that's over here, okay? So whatever is in your little circle-y dot up here, I don't know if you can see my mouse really well, it should match this because it's asking you, who do you want to authorize? Does that make sense? So make sure that those accounts match, and if they don't, then you're going to need to just sign out of all your accounts and start from square one again. Okay, so it's going to give you this prompt. It's like, this app isn't verified, blah, 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 blah. It's not published on the Chrome Web Store because A, we don't charge money for it, and B, it's surprisingly a big hassle to publish something to the Chrome Web Store, so I don't have time for that. So instead of clicking back to safety, don't do that because then your planner won't work. You can click advanced, and this is where you would scroll down, and you can see right here, it'll say go to blah, 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 unsafe. And it's not unsafe, I promise. It's written by me. I'm not trying to steal your info, I promise. Okay, so, and these steps are very clearly outlined in the side guide too if you missed anything just now. So it's going to want you to scroll down again and click allow. Now, once you click allow, the scripts will run and everything will all of your buttons will work. So I'm going to click allow, and it's going to think for a minute, and you'll know that something is working once you see this little green flag at the top, okay? And it's essentially what it's doing right now is it's clearing out everything that's currently in your on your input tab. And you'll know that it's done whenever it says finished script. So now you'll see I've got nothing on my input tab. And on my planner tab, which we'll get to these tabs at the bottom, nothing's on there, okay? So I'm going to now, my next step, I'm going to show you this right here. These are the steps we'll be taking, okay? So my first step is to paste one day of classes to my input tab, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and open up my classroom list. So I'm just clicking a bookmark from my tabs up top, but I'm going to my portal. And when I go to my portal, I'm going to want to grab classes for the first, only one day. That's all you want to grab, okay? I never set my planner up more than one day in advance because I short notice a lot of classes, like my PPT times. I will short notice them. So as you can see, this is not going to be a great example, but I've got 3 classes. So, Oh, weird, Charles. Oh, when you check for update, I'll click that in a little bit and see what's up with it. Okay, so I am taking my mouse and I'm just clicking and dragging across the screen. And then I'm going to let go of my mouse button once I get the classes for one day highlighted, okay? So I've highlighted one day of classes, and I'm going to use keyboard shortcuts. That's what I recommend with just across the platforms. It's just easier to use Control or Command C to copy. Now you can right click and select copy. That's fine. Sometimes it doesn't work though. So I've always found that keyboard shortcuts are the most reliable way. So I'm going to do that once again. I'm just going to highlight those 3 classes for tomorrow, and I'm hitting. I have a Mac, so I'm hitting Command C. Okay. All right. So I am going to hop back over here. Oh, and that's a good question, Angela. You can copy and paste from the app as well. Yeah. I do it all the time. Okay. I don't want to load that sucker up though during the Zoom because my screen is already kind of lagging. Okay. Yes, they can copy and paste from the app. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my planner and I need to paste my classes. So I'm going to just click this very first white cell. Really just tip for the whole planner. If something is white, typically it's editable. And if it's colored, it's not editable. Okay. All right. So Control or Command V, like violin, is to paste. All right. So when I do that shortcut, it will paste my schedule onto the input tab. And it doesn't look like what it looked like earlier, but it will in just a little bit when I hit start. So class tags that are maybe like it might say short notice or new student or something like that will show up in column D. I recommend giving your students nicknames, even if it's just their same name from the portal. But let's say that Tim had his name pasted like it was in the portal as lowercase Tim, and you want to make it sure that it's capitalized in feedback. What you can do is give your student a nickname. This also, column I, is very important because it does allow you to track students. So any students that you want to track or keep record of what rewards you've used with them and yada yada, you'd want to give them a nickname to tell the planner like, hey, it's not just any Danon, it's this Danon. Does that make sense? And it also, the nickname does show up in your feedback templates. So if you have maybe 2 Allens and you have Allen 1, that Allen 1 will show up in your feedback template. But that's okay because there's a button that will just swap out the names. So we'll get to that when we get to the feedback tab though. But I'm going to go ahead and put Allen 1 just for example. All right, so I've got my classes pasted in. Everything is ready to go. I don't need to necessarily give Dane a nickname. You don't have to if it's not a student you plan to keep track of. So I'm going to click the start button. That's the next step. So I pasted and I'm going to hit start. All right, so let's do that. When I hit start, it's going to, I'm not touching the mouse or anything. It's going to start doing its thing. Okay. And you don't want to hit your mouse or click anything while it's running. Okay. And it will be finished once you don't see that little thing saying script running at the top. It's going to land you on your planner tab. You can see that the tab switched there at the bottom. So we're not on our input tab anymore. It automatically skips to the planner tab. Yeah, I'll get to all that when you know. Yeah. Jackie, you can let them know we'll get to the saving part in a little bit. All right, so this is the tab that shows you all of your links and shows you all of your resources, okay? So ideally, this is the tab that you want to only have open during class when you're opening your rewards and things like that for your next classes. But as you can see, column G through I right here, these are all your favorites and your things that you can select in a sense, okay? And then if I scroll over, oh, I'm sorry, G through J, my bad. It's my lesson notes right here. When you scroll over, though, I'm just using this scroll bar right here. You can also use your keyboard arrows to just tap, tap, tap. I'm just using a keyboard arrow to tap over. You can also see all of your prop options. So like based on your schedule, instead of having to go find those on the Finder, you can just have them all in a neat row right here. Okay. And then on there at the end of the tab, you can see extension reward suggestions. Okay. And website reward suggestions by Karen Hover in the Digital Effects group. So this tab just shows you all of your available resources and then some, because it will also show you what your favorite resources are for your for that lesson. All right, so column I, yeah, so you don't have to search for anything. Yeah, I know, Angela, right. But it gets so much cooler than that. Column I should be blank. You know, it says right here, my selected reward. It should be blank. However, this is not where you want to paste your reward. Okay, so let's just say, for instance, I'm going to type something just because maybe I didn't know, you know, maybe I didn't know I'm not supposed to type on here. So let's say for this one, I want to do Dino, find a star 2. And I'm just typing right here. And it does let you do that. But if you hit enter, it's going to tell you, oh, please don't do that. No, don't do it. And you're going to say, you're going to hit cancel. Okay. So if you ever see this message pop up, always abort mission. Okay. Just abort. Okay. Just hit cancel and then it will be all good. But let's say you're like me and maybe when something pops up, I'm always just like, okay, go away, you know, and I hit okay. Well, as you can see, that didn't really change much. I still see my Dino Find a Star 2. It's not linked though. And I have this weird thing right here now. Anytime you see this weird thing, this hashtag ref exclamation point, this means that you have put some text somewhere it shouldn't be. Okay. And it happens all the time to me. It was just an accident, you know, and it will actually even tell you, like it'll say it can't overwrite data. That's a lot of jargon for just look for the cell number and it'll tell you exactly where the text is. And it says I5 right there. So I'm going to say, okay, I's up here. 5 is over here. Oh, I shouldn't have that there. So I'm just going to backspace it. And it's going to warn me again not to edit anything right there, but I know what I'm doing. And then when I do that, it's that little error message is going to go away. You can also just hit undo over here if you catch it immediately. Sometimes you don't. If you catch it immediately, just hit undo. Okay. And there's another way to fix it as well. We'll get to it later, but always just be mindful of that pop-up. Anytime it gives you that pop-up, then you're doing something that you shouldn't do. So I'm going to go over to this next tab. Okay, so it says my step 2. I'm checking out my available resources on my view only planner tab. Right, that was step 2. Now we're on to step 3, which is to select rewards on my rewards tab. So I'm not actually going to type anything on my planner tab ever. Okay, your planner tab is view only. This is where you select your rewards. Okay, which is I'm on the rewards tab now, so it's the very next tab. This is the all rewards tab that you see on the Finder. So it has that, but it also has this little section over here called like my Google Slides rewards. And what it does is it shows you all of your students, you know, for the day. It'll show them right here in column A. And note that it's colored, so you don't want to type in it. But this part is white. This is editable. So this is where I can paste my reward, and it will actually show up on my planner tab. So let's say I want to use, oh, this is new, I think. Let's say you want to use this motorcycle Find a Star. So I'm going to use a keyboard shortcut. I'm just going to Control C, okay? This copies that hyperlink, okay? And when I say hyperlink, I don't just mean this link. I mean like the title and the link. And I'm going to go back. I'm going to go right here by Alan, where it says paste reward below, and I'm just going to use Control V, like violin, okay? And what I've done is I've just pasted that hyperlinked cell or box next to Alan to show my planner that's the reward I want to use. So I'm just going to do that for maybe all of these. I like to use lesson-specific rewards. That's typically all I use. So I usually just pick from right here. And plus, it's way easier because I don't have to go figuring out what Tim and Dana and Alan like. But, you know, to each their own, you know. That's the cool thing about this tab is that you can actually see all sorts of things about your students right here. You can see what lesson name they have right now or what code it is. And then maybe you can see their favorites or their notes if they are a saved student in your students tab, which is one of those more advanced features. But so I've selected all of my rewards. I'm going to hop back over to my planner tab just to show you guys. So the relationship between the two. Now I have all of those rewards showing up in that selected reward column. And I didn't type anything in there. I didn't have to do anything. It just showed up automatically. So I have selected my rewards and all is good. And so what I typically do is after I select my rewards and maybe I know what prop I want to use, I just click that email planner button. That's all I do. And this email planner button is really cool because it connects to your account up here. So whatever account your planner is with, it will email you a very quick to load PDF of your planner tab. So if you're a mobile user, this is especially awesome because the planner is a huge document that honestly, guys, will not load on your mobile device. So this is where it's good to use the planner regardless, right, of what way you're using Google Slides. So I just clicked that email planner button, and I want to show you. I'm gonna show you on my phone here. I have this email account set up, but if I open up my email on my phone, I can now see right here. It literally just instantly came through. I can see right here my planner, and it's a PDF doc. So whenever I click to open this, it's going to open up and it's going to show me very tiny. I'm going to turn my phone sideways so you can see. It's going to show me my planner tab, and all of those links are clickable. Now it is tiny, so what you can actually do is just zoom in. Okay, so maybe I'm getting ready for Alan's class right here, and I can just zoom in on Alan's row right there. And whenever I click to open something like the selected reward that I want to use, I can just tap, and I'll give it a second, and it'll open up. And it opens up in Safari for me, but you can open it up in Google Slides. It gives you this little prompt at the top if you have that, if you have the app. But honestly, Safari is a little bit easier to use, in my opinion, if you want to open up multiple things. So that's how the email planner button works. Now, you don't want to click that button until you've selected your rewards. But once you've selected your rewards, then you can just hit that button, and it's all on your phone, and it's all quick to open, and it's not like you're trying to load a huge document in the Sheets app, you know. So, okay, that's basically how to just set up for your classes. You paste your schedule, you pick your rewards, you email it to yourself, and you're done. So now after class is when you can really, really, really save time next time you have this lesson, or these lessons rather. So my fourth step here is to, after class, view and customize our feedback templates on your feedback tab. Or maybe between class, you know, it doesn't have to be after class. You may find that it's quicker to customize your feedback before class, and then, you know, just copy and paste it between classes. So I'm going to go ahead and go to that next step, so my feedback tab. Now, you'll see that it is a little bit, I don't know, in my opinion, a little bit difficult to view, just because the columns are quite wide and some of these templates are quite long. So if you have a hard time viewing it on your desktop or laptop or whatever, you can always click this little zoom up here, this little percentage. And I always like to keep mine at like 90%. It kind of zooms it out a little bit more. It depends on your screen size, but I mean, even 75% is still kind of small, but you can see more of it. But I'm going to go ahead and, just for the sake of the zoom, I'm going to just keep it at 100. Okay. So let's say that I want to go ahead and do Alan's feedback, right? What I recommend doing is I recommend backspacing anything you don't want to save. You don't want a bunch of text saving on your classes at the end of the day. Okay, now this feedback tab, I know that it's colored and everything, and it kind of contradicts just the general rule, like don't edit colored cells, but I needed to denote girl and boy pronouns. So your feedback tab is safe. You can backspace things and you're okay. So just know that. So I backspaced everything but this generated boy template. So I can go in and personalize. I'm just going to write that word, personalize, this template, just for example. Okay, let's say I went in and I just hit enter, just to tell you each of my steps. I hit enter, and what it did is it hopped me down to the next row, and that's what Sheets will always do. So you can actually use your keyboard arrows to just go back up, the little arrows, okay, to kind of navigate this tab. But I just hit the up arrow, and now I'm back here at Alan's little template that I plan to send to his parents about his wonderful class. So I can edit this however I want. And here's the cool thing, and I recommend everybody editing whatever you want to send, whatever you want the final wording of it to be, edit it on this tab, okay? And here's why. If you are just grabbing this template, this generated template, and you're copying it and you're just throwing it into a portal and changing it in the portal before you submit, you're missing a huge benefit of this tab, because the feedback tab is directly connected to your favorites, which, remember at the beginning I said you want to save these templates because you don't want to find yourself personalizing this same template 5 times, you know, in a month. So especially if you don't teach at many levels, you're going to start to feel the repetitiveness of it all. But I'm going to go in and do that for all 3 of them, okay? I'm just going to backspace all this extra stuff, okay? And Tim, I'm assuming is a dude, okay? And let's say I'm going to say personalized this template. And I know I have a typo there, but oh well. Okay, edited this one. And this is just for example. There would obviously be a template right here, okay? But just for example's sake, I went in and put my own stuff there, okay? So, and then I can go in and paste it into the portal and submit it. And then I'm done with my feedback. But what you want to do is utilize the favorites tab if you don't want to find yourself typing that same stuff over and over and over again, okay? You would go over to your favorites after you've personalized everything and customized your templates to how you like. You would go to your favorites tab. And here is where you'll see a lot of questions on the Facebook page about this tab. And it is a little confusing at first, but once you get the hang of it, once you understand how it works, it won't be as difficult. So, and honestly, the tutorial video for this tab specifically needs to be redone, but just haven't had the time. So on the favorites tab, this is not view only, okay? I want to show you what is view only and what's not view only. So all of column A and all of column B, you can see that it's colored. It's view only. Don't try to edit it. Same thing with the top part up here. It's all view only, almost like a little L, okay? Anything that's colored on the favorites tab, it's not editable. Now you can see down here, all of this is white, okay? All of this is white. This means that you can edit it however you want, okay? Now, I am scrolling. I don't know if you see those lesson codes changing over there on the side, but I'm scrolling and I'm seeing all of the lessons for a VIPKID. Now, it just says all the same stuff right here. Those are just prompts, and you can actually get rid of all of those, okay? If you want to. It doesn't bother me so much. So I'm going to click this little arrow over here in A9. I'm going to click that drop-down arrow. I don't know if you saw me do that, but there it is again. So when I click the drop-down arrow, I can see all of my classes that are currently on my planner tab. I can see them on the favorites tab. So you want to do this before you reset and, start for another day. You want to just, last step is to save your favorites. So I'm going to go ahead and click this first lesson that we looked at just a little bit ago. And when I click it, it's going to, a really techie term for it, it's going to array all of the things that are currently showing for that lesson. Okay, so I can see all of the prop options. I have to kind of click on the title of it to see, up here. I can actually see the full title, all right? And I can just go through and I can save all of anything I want to save for this lesson. And same thing here. I've got this person, see, that's what I typed on the feedback tab, see? So now I'm going to find this lesson code down below, okay? And I don't need to scroll or hit Control F. All I have to do is just hit this button right here, okay? When I hit this button, it's going to immediately jump. You see those numbers changed over here on the side. It's going to jump me to the row that has that lesson code, okay? So what I can actually do is just go in and save my, oopsie, I clicked the link. That happens to me all the time. My bad. Okay, I'm going to click a link right up here, and I'm just going to do like I would for my selected reward. I just copy and paste the link. So I'm hitting Command C, and I'm going to that lesson. I got to make sure it matches. It's almost like a little, I don't know, puzzle, crossword puzzle. I like to think of it. Okay, so I'm pasting this prop option right beside that lesson, and I liked Beth's motorcycle reward, so I want to use that next time for this lesson. So I'm just Control C to copy. I'm pasting right next to this lesson code, okay? And same thing for the feedback template. I want to select that edited feedback, and I'm going to paste it right here, okay? Maybe my lesson notes for this lesson were extend a lot, short lesson. Okay. All right. So I can save notes about that specific lesson. It's not correlated with the student at all. It's just for this lesson, for the content. Okay. This is about the time I start getting a lot of questions about stuff. So send your questions in the chat. Okay. But it's kind of quiet. This is a little scary here. The prop options and rewards, original. Oh, no. Yeah. So the prop options and the rewards, good question, Marlissa. When you hit the start button on your planner, it imports from our resource bank. So you can build your own. You can build your own. The ones that are up here, you mean? Like all of these? So yeah, say what you mean. Did you have a... Sorry, put you on the spot. Did you have a question about what's showing at the top here? It was like, yeah. I think she might be asking about what if you personalize one of them, or
I did. What I was asking was what you said.
Oh, good.
Those are all preloaded, so
exactly.
We're just building on what you already created as a master.
Yeah. So
Great.
I mean, the favorites tab just allows you to not have to select something, select a reward every time, and re-customize your feedback every time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's a big time saver.
Yeah, it's a big time saver. And all of the prop options up top, yes, the only thing that's going to show is what is from our resource bank. But if, let's say you opened up this Google slide and you changed some of the text on it, and like you made a copy of it and you personalized it to what you like, you can actually save your own links here. You don't have to save anything just from up top. You can actually you can use this link button right here, insert link.
Oh,
so let's say for this like lesson right here, I didn't really like any of the options and I wanted to save my own. I can just hit Command K, or I can use that link button. When I hit that, it's going to give me what do you want to see as the text here? You know, I can say my props, right? And then I can go down to this little link box and paste a link there. So maybe my copy that I didn't, share to the group because it was, something that was really personal to my student or whatever. Okay. So you can save your own links for sure.
Okay.
Same thing for like that favorite reward. You could save like maybe a reward that you edited, like you copied and edited yourself. Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see. Can you update this order as it updates? So it updates automatically when we paste our class. If you're talking about this tab, Angela, this tab is never touched by the reset button at all. So whatever you save here will be here until you change it. But next time you paste in this lesson code, your favorite options will show for that lesson. So I can show you on my planner tab even now. It's always connected to your planner tab's always connected to your favorites tab. So I can now see, instead of that placeholder text there, I can see my favorite props. I can see my lesson notes right there. And it's all in a very just quick glance, okay? Inputted links. Oh no, yeah, Angela, you don't have to worry about the the VIPKID updates to the curriculum. So yes, they update it frequently, right? But this link right here is a live link to our resource bank. So when Sarah updates her prop file or whatever to match, it will show the same link unless she makes a new copy or something like that. Yeah, it will stay up to date. Okay, so that's how to save your favorites. And I'm looking at the clock. We got about 15 minutes before we need to hop over to Christina's Zoom, which I might miss out on, Jackie. I don't know if she has somebody to help, but so just for example, I did want to show you. You know how I said Allen 1 will be in the template? Well, look, there it is. It says Allen 1. You know, that's kind of annoying. So before you make any edits to the templates, if you know that you're not going to want your student's name in this feedback template, you'll want to click this Swap Student Names button. And what that does, it's a one-way swap, okay? Just fair warning. It's a one-way swap, and it will take away all of your edits. So be fair warned. It does clear out all your edits, and it brings in your templates, but with the name that's on the input tab, okay? The name that originally pasted. So I'll show you, for example, I'm just going to click Swap Names. And what it's going to do is, see, now I have all of the templates back in there again. And these are just from the resource bank, these generated ones. And Allen I can't see that Allen 1 anymore. But if I scroll over, look what came back now. See, I have my personalized template, my favorite feedback. So I don't see that placeholder text anymore. And that's kind of what I meant by your favorites tab is always connected to pretty much all of your tabs. So as soon as you save something on your favorites tab, it will be reflected on like your planner tab. But do know that since the feedback tab is editable, it's not going to show you your favorite feedback template live, if that makes sense. It's a little bit confusing, but in order to see any changes reflected on your feedback tab, you got to click one of these buttons up here, because it doesn't have any formulas on this tab at all. So you have to click like refresh if you want to see that maybe you changed a lesson number, and so the generated template is wrong for that lesson. You would need to click refresh feedback if you changed it on your input tab. Okay. The same thing for any of those tabs. I mean, let's say you woke up in the morning and maybe Allen doesn't have lesson 5. It's lesson 7. Okay, of the same unit, and you can go in and just paste over this right here. You can paste a new his new lesson, and what you would want to do is just click start again, or you can click the refresh planner tab, or you can click the refresh feedback tab. There are many ways to correct it, but just know that like if you change a lesson number on your input tab, that it's not going to show the correct resources for really for any of these tabs. It won't show. So you always have to click start or a refresh button to reflect any of those changes, okay? So now what you can do, you've saved your feedback, you've saved your favorites and all that stuff, and you're ready for the next day, okay? So here's what you need to do first. Before you do anything drastic, you know, like maybe pasting your next day's classes underneath because you don't want to lose anything, what you should do is click this Save Planner button. And what that does is it takes your planner tab, like all of the stuff that you used, and your edited feedback. It takes it and it saves it onto your classes tab over here. So it doesn't save it in link form or anything, so it's not super heavy, you know, as far as loading and stuff. But let me click it and I'll show you. So I'm going to click Save Classes, and it's going to run the script, and it's going to think for a minute, and it might tell me, I wonder if I ever fixed that thing with the, oh yeah. This is just like nothing to alarm you, okay? Don't worry about this error message. Just click dismiss, okay? It's just trying to delete rows that are not there, okay? So now you can see I've got all of my stuff saved, and it's in that descending order. And I can scroll over and I can see my feedback that I edited, okay? And when I click reset to get ready for the next day, I am going to notice that my classes tab is safe, okay? And I just click reset, and I can go in and paste my next days in the same document. And I would do those same steps over and over again. Yeah, you can, or yeah, Barbara, right up here. I kind of missed that step. I usually talk about that. You can click File, Rename, or you can click up here in this little box, but I might just put my planner, and I like to date it. So maybe I will put 5/11 and hit enter. And I can save, like, I can star it if I want to find it quickly. Yeah. Yeah, Chelsea, yeah, that's a good point. So I think currently, I'm going to go back to my classes right over here. So she brings up a good point, and I don't really have a bunch of time to explain it, but I went through and started having the script that resets the planner. It will actually clear out your all of this text for the options that are from our bank. Not necessarily your selected reward or your selected notes or your saved notes or anything. It clears out all of the text that is just from our resource bank, nothing specific to your student. So I think I might have kind of fixed that problem as far as things getting too big. But what you can do is anytime you want to clear out your classes, you can just select whole rows right here. Like let's say Tim, you don't ever plan to see him again. You can just select row 2 and just right click and delete it. Does that make sense? And you can hold the shift key down to select many at a time. Okay. Okay. So if I'm scrolling down, I can see I've got 3 classes saved. I'm scrolling over and I can still see my edited feedback right here. Okay. So, and this is useful if you want to go back and look and see what you wrote about a certain student. Okay. All right, so the classes tab, I mean, yeah, it can get really big. Like after a couple months, you might have, you know, 200, 300 rows in there. I would go in and start deleting out students that you don't plan to track, okay? Okay, so I've got to, yeah, good idea. Okay, now the students tab is, I am probably not going to get to that today, but the students tab has, some written directions up here, okay? But if you want to be able to track your students with like their favorites and maybe notes about the certain student, I've got Dino right here as an example. And you can paste a drive link, like a Google Drive link for their photo. You can screenshot during class and just drag and drop it into your drive. And I have a video on that, okay? So I'll link that, but let me, before we kind of wrap things up here, let me go ahead and share with you the link to the practice planner okay? Because that is, or here, you know what, I'm gonna copy link address. Okay, here's the planner request form. Okay, now this is where you'll go once you feel like pretty, uh-oh, that link doesn't look like it's gonna work. Maybe it will, I don't know. Yeah, it is, okay. So there's the link to the planner request form, okay, so that you can get yours. And then here is, let's see, I'm just gonna open this up. Here's the link to the practice planner. So if you want to just get familiar with navigating the document and all of that stuff, okay? Practice planner. All right. So there are 2 important links for, oh yeah, thank you. Thank you, Jackie. Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad that it was helpful. I mean, it's kind of short. I mean, we usually, on the planner Zoom, we usually stay on for like an hour and 20. But I'm hoping that it was helpful to see it all in action. But the help and bonus tabs, last thing, the help and bonus tabs has, that's a mouthful. The help and bonus tabs tab has some troubleshooting steps, okay, in case you mess something up. But there are some troubleshooting steps for you. But also, there's this important link right here, recopy the master planner. So if you ever have an issue with something just working in general, just go over to your help tab and click this recopy button and it will all be good. You can also do that up here too. Recopy the master planner, okay? All right. Do we have to manually the first time? Yeah. Oh, the students tab, watch that video that Jackie linked up there, because the students tab is all manual. It's all manual basically, because it's not going to know exactly like what to write about your student as far as their nickname and their info and all that stuff. Okay. Y'all are welcome. I hope you enjoyed it. The bonus tabs are really cool too, so check those out. Those are on this tab. And we have to end this fairly quickly just because she's got, Christina has a minicam Zoom coming right after this one. So I'm going to go ahead and say we can all wave goodbye to each other. I'm going to start that other Zoom, so if you want to, you can hop in there. The link is on our Facebook page, okay? Okay. Bye, guys. Happy Saturday.